What is up, everybody? Welcome to Bite the Bullet. Yo, we were going to speak about co-parenting tonight, and we probably still will. However, you know, that is unfortunately going to have to wait because one of the pillars of this show is speaking to the pulse of what's going on in the world. And this episode will be no different. See, Tuesday, April 20th, 2021, Derek Chauvin, a former Minneapolis police officer, was found guilty by a jury of peers on all counts he faced over the death of George Floyd.
Right.
The trial has been one of the most closely watched cases in recent memory, setting off a national reckoning on police violence and systemic racism. Even before the trial started, Chauvin was found guilty of unintentional second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. We feel it's important to discuss this case because, like so many of you, we are a mixture of emotions that need to be unpacked. So, to the Bite the Bullet squad, two questions. How are you feeling, and where do we go from here now that legal justice has been served? What is due?
What up, Jay? What up, Trish? What's going on?
What up, my peoples? What is up?
Third person speak, Dfactor here. Y'all ready?
Let's go. So, I guess we could just start off with how you feel.
I didn't feel anything.
Ooh, why?
I'm numb. Okay, I am
true.
Comfortably numb. I am numb to another shooting. I am numb to another verdict. I am numb because as soon as you celebrate one, another one is ready. It's already in the daggone revolving door.
True that.
It's already there, man. It's and we'll speak on that later. But yeah, I felt nothing. It was just okay.
Trish, what's up? How you feeling?
I know I messaged you guys this morning, and
yeah,
I actually was watching the news, which I don't usually do. You all know that by now.
Yeah, true.
And I was an emotional. So I wouldn't say that I was numb. I didn't know how to feel. Right. I just didn't know how to feel. I was in tears, seeing people, seeing the family. I don't know. Honestly, is that justice? Like, I don't even know how to even answer that question because the emotions, I can't even describe it. I was in tears. I felt it. I said, okay, maybe this is a small little step forward. Maybe it is a small step, but to me, in my head, okay, you know what? They had to give a guilty verdict because if it was not a guilty verdict, America would have been burned down. It would have been chaos all over the world. And so to me, it's like, yes, they had to give that guilty verdict.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you how America operates. They don't care if it burns down because it makes the property cheaper, and then gentrification can happen. Because when it burns down, we're just burning down our community. They're like, go ahead and burn up your little community, and then we're going to move in and put in better stuff. You're doing the demolition for us. So America doesn't care if it burns down. America has been burning down since they named America the United States of America. It's been in flames. It's been smoking ever since.
I know what you're saying, but I just feel as though this was a verdict. Okay. I heard the district attorney speak. They said they've been working hard. The people who were filming and the witnesses to the killing, they were really, really great witnesses and stuff like that. I don't want to take away from any of that.
Right.
But to me, it's like they had to give because of how big George Floyd's death, because of the worldwide eyes looking on America. I just feel as though, yes, you had to give a guilty verdict by all means necessary. But the thing is that it doesn't take away from all these killings. Just today, a young girl, I think she's 15, 16 years old. I know the circumstances are a bit different because a knife was involved, but another young Black child was killed. Then there was Devontae, what's his name, Wright, that was killed, and a 13-year-old just a couple days ago in Chicago. It's just one thing after another, and to ask someone how they feel about this, like, how can you even have, I think Dee said it right, numb, but I just don't even know if numb is my feeling. I just don't know what to say, how to feel about this.
Hey Trish, I really appreciate your stance on it. I think I'm speaking more of me always seeing a me on the screen that's been killed. I'm numb to it. When
And
I say me, I'm talking about me as a black man.
Well, it's funny
You know
that
what I
you
mean?
say it. It's funny that you say it that way, D, because I was in a conversation with a friend of mine earlier in the week before the verdict was given, before any of the other killings took place.
Right.
And I was telling her that every time I see these images, I feel like it's me. I feel so much connectivity to it, right?
Right.
And her only response really was, well, have you ever really been in that kind of a situation? Have you ever experienced that kind of stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I experience it when I see it on, like, this is happening to real people. This isn't a movie. This isn't TV. My emotions, my heart is going out for these people. And
Right.
I hope that I'm never in this type of situation. And I really hope that change comes quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I feel like there's so much lack of empathy when it comes to this, because people are seeing these who don't look like the people in the videos.
And it's what you said, 2D, it does resonate, because if I look at it, like Toledo, the young 13-year-old out in Chicago, and Dante Wright, like when I look at these young men, these could be my son. And then when I see men like George Floyd, these could be the men that I'm in love with, or my husband, or my boyfriend, right? And it's worrisome. And yesterday, and I will tell you, yesterday when I was looking at people cheering and crying and over the verdict, I was like, if this was me, how would I feel? Like I just, I wouldn't, I can tell you, I don't think that I would be out in the streets, because that's not a victory to me. That's not justice. Justice is if George Floyd was still alive.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're happy because a person got taken to prison. A person, not a system change, not a training change.
Yeah.
Somebody went to jail. That's it.
But he hasn't even been sentenced, right?
Right. Which so the sentencing is, hold on, let me get my notes. So
it's in 6 to 8 weeks.
It's going to be in 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: in that particular state, he's going to get possibly a minimum of 12 years because of the type of case, and a maximum of 40 years, depending on how the judge decides to swing it.
Right. And enough of it is still not worth it.
Right.
I mean, it's still not. It still doesn't fix anything.
Right.
And we still have all those other cases from last year, like Brianna. There's so many other cases that still needs to be, that needs to be tried. Then you have more killings that's happening this year. So, okay, to me, it's like, what is being done to prevent this? And it just goes to show, we were having this discussion about, the killing today with the young girl. There needs to be other ways for police officers to be trained to handle certain situations. Like, we need to stop killing each other.
So I think you're right, Trish.
That's the point there. We just need to stop killing each other.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that simple, because like we had conversations about
never gonna happen.
It's not.
Well, here's the thing. Like, human beings have killed each other since the dawn of history. So when people say we got to stop killing each other, that's almost saying like, yo, there shouldn't be any more black on black crime, when truthfully there really isn't any more black on black crime. There really isn't, because no one ever says there's white on white crime. It's humans killing humans. You know what I mean?
But we've been killing each other since the dawn of the day. But if you look at us as humans, we've progressed and we've gotten a lot smarter. You would think that as we progress and get a lot smarter, that we would understand that killing each other is not the way to go. So, are we really progressing as a people?
No, we got smarter, but we figured out a way to kill more people with a single item. Like when we figure out we could split the atom. We didn't do positivity with that. We was like, yo, we split the atom. We could build energy and all this, but we also can kill masses of people.
We just figure out different ways of killing it. Oh my God.
Man, humans are dark. And it's just some of us that just have stronger morals than others. I'm telling you, you walk past a serial killer every day. I believe you do.
Oh, we walk past a whole lot of evil and bad every day. So I know. Well,
my bad, Jay. What's up? What's the next question, baby?
No, because I think you got a point, but I think a lot of people don't realize that the most dangerous people in the world are the ones controlling TV, media.
Oh yeah,
the ones who you don't know about that are putting the guns, putting the drugs in all of these environments. The ones who are creating the ghettos and keeping the ghettos because they're getting their pockets fit. You know, those are the most dangerous people that we really should be trying to take out. But I don't want to say too much because I don't want to end up dead and no one.
Exactly. So the dark side of me is like the George. I can't ever pronounce his name. Not George. But
hey, we don't even want to say his name.
No, yeah, him got indicted, right? But the other cop that shot in Ohio, how do we know how he felt about that? Because he came out the car ready to go. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got a little win, huh? You got a little win, pal. Let's start the game back over."
Listen, this is just going to be something that
we need to move to Canada, man. We just need to come up there with you, Trish.
You know what? You know, it's not as bad as, you know what, I would say that it does exist. Racism does exist, but America is on a different level. Like it is. It's on a different level. I always thought like years ago I would want to move to the US because you know, one, your clothes are a lot cheaper.
Is it really?
Yeah, like that's why we go across the border to shop, right? Clothes is so much cheaper.
Y'all treat us like we Mexico. That's up.
We go across the border to shop.
They're gonna get in trouble for that one. No,
I know, right? Yo.
But you know, it's not as bad. And I said to myself, I'm so happy that my kids, you know, I didn't choose to move to the US. So I probably would have moved back in a heartbeat. But
so do y'all just look through the blinds at us like
what they're doing today?
We don't bad neighbors. We are awful neighbors, man.
We had a protest in Toronto last weekend because we're in a really serious lockdown and stay-at-home order. It's really serious now. Like I think it's going to turn into curfew pretty soon if it continues away. And there were people downtown Toronto protesting without masks, and the first thing people are saying, "Y'all think you're in America?" You know?
And it's funny, and like it's funny because, and I think D can attest to this, and I'm saying D because D was in the military, and D, like, you went overseas, right?
Oh yeah.
So America has this idea that everyone sees us as the hero, right? When I went overseas, they do not. We are the villain. We're either the villain, the joke, or just a parody. Like it's so funny how we think we are and we're really not.
Yeah.
Because I asked some folks, I was like, "Hey, what do y'all think of America?" They was like, "Jerry Springer." I was like, "What?" Right. That's all we see is Jerry Springer from America. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. It's funny.
Well, you know, there's a lot of great stories. You hear people migrating to America and making something for themselves. But I think the day and age that America is in right now, back in the day, that was the dream. I just think that now the way how the economy,
to piggyback off your back in the day, Trish, as Black folks, I'm not sure back in the day for us was ever good. No. Like people ask us, "Hey, if you could go back in time, what time would it be?"
I hate that question. I hate that question. Right?
If you could meet George Washington, what would you say? "Don't beat me. I want to be free. I'm not a slave." That's what I would say to George Washington.
Yo.
Oh my word.
Yes. Please don't ask people of color what time would they go back to. Don't ask that question.
Yeah. The 60s was so great. Oh, it was? Look at this footage. Water hose dog on my uncle. Yeah, it was great back then.
All right, man. Yo.
You know we can go all day.
I know, and I think all of our sentiments are correct, right? At this point, we're just numb, not sure what to say. We're just kind of we'll see what comes up next. That's pretty much what happens.
What I would like to say is, you know, to those of you who are listening or even watching us on YouTube, let us know your thoughts. You know, what do you think?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You know, what would you like to see different? And do you think, what was your reaction like? Where were you when you heard the verdict?
That's
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
So now we're going to switch topics just a little bit. Well, no, a lot. We're going to talk about parenting. Okay. So what does a healthy co-parenting situation look like? Trish.
The first
I'll tell you
thing.
what go ahead. Go ahead,
So
Trish.
I'm a mother of 3 children. I have 3 children with 1 guy, just in case anyone wants to know how many baby daddies I have, because I have 3 children, because I've had that question asked.
Dang, okay. All right.
I'm glad she put that out there. I'm glad she put that out there, though.
Okay.
I have 1 baby daddy. Okay. So, and I was with him for 17 years. And the one thing that I learned when I left that relationship is, when it comes to co-parenting, this is between the parents and the children. It's not between the parents. You have to put aside who cheated, who did what, who said what, and all that aside. All of that needs to go. Your emotions with the other parent needs to go hell out the door, and you focus on what's best for the kids. And
exactly.
I left my ex because I saw how tumultuous the relationship was and how it was affecting my children. So when I left, I wanted to make sure that nothing that I do forward was going to affect my children, especially if I needed to go to court for child support, if I needed to get custody. I wanted to make sure that they weren't involved in it. And I'll tell you, if it's only one parent that thinks like that, you're going to have a problem. Because a lot of the time, what I've seen is women, when they leave a relationship, or if the man left them, or whatever the situation is, because he's with another woman, or because they're bitter towards the man, they take it out on the kids. They can't see the father. They want to get a substantial amount of child support, and this has nothing to do with the child. So
exactly,
that's where it needs to start. You need to recognize it. Yeah. Sorry.
Absolutely. And if I can piggyback on what Trish is saying. So my current situation is that I'm happily married. I have 2 kids. Both of my kids are by my wife. She is my only baby mama, to my knowledge.
I'm not giving y'all mine.
And I don't think there's much I can really say on this topic, but growing up, I did come from a broken home. I saw my father all the time. I knew who he was. I went to go visit him. I even started living with him in my teenage years. My mother, from what they both have told me, my father never had to pay child support. She never had to pay child support when I went to live with him. Every so often, she say a snide comment about him. But for the most part, my mother didn't talk about my father. My father definitely didn't talk about my mother. I never went to bed hungry. There were some tough times, but my parents, for the most part, got along. I could see my father whenever I asked, or whenever it was supposed to be his weekend or whatever. So that's kind of my 2. So yeah,
that's a gem. You don't really see that a lot or hear about that a lot.
So co-parenting is communication, and it's also about adapting, compromising, and never, like you said, Jay and Trish, never speaking ill of the other parent to the child. 100%. Never put the child in the middle. Never, ever make that child feel like he's in the middle or she's in the middle. And when I say adapting, is because you never know what age your child is going to be when you split. So the parenting for a 5-year-old, co-parenting can be very easy, but the co-parenting for a 15-year-old can be pure hell.
Oh, I didn't even think about it that way. You're right.
Yeah, especially a 15-year-old boy, when the mother calls and say these boys are acting crazy, they doing this, they doing that. And as a man, you want your sons to grow up and learn some things. But that's when the parenting it's going to change throughout the whole age of the child. And it's still part of communication.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but like you brought up a question. So I agree with you. At different ages of the child, co-parenting is definitely going to look different. But now that I'm reflecting on my parents' relationship, my mother had sole custody until I moved in with my father. So I'm sure that dynamic for them was probably a whole lot different because legally she could kind of do what she wanted. He could do legally what he wanted.
Right.
What are you two's opinions on sole custody versus like joint?
So,
if any.
So I went and I seeked sole custody. So it depends on the situation because I seeked out sole custody for my children because after I left my ex, he really was not participating or seeing the children or taking care of them, right? Like he wasn't even like it was difficult for because he was hiding another family that he had. And so I decided, you know what? I've been doing everything for my kids. I take care of them. I do everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go seek sole custody, right? So I went ahead and I seek sole custody. And the reason why co-parenting is, oh my God, it is so important for these children is that my son was probably 11, 12, or at the time when we separated. And that is such a difficult age. That is such 11, 12, because one, you know, they're in middle school, going into high school, puberty. Then they know exactly what's happening in the house. So they have all these emotions, right? And so my son saw for the first couple of years that, okay, his dad wasn't having any interest in him, wasn't really being involved, right?
Right.
Then come a few years when my son's about 15 years old, you know, he's talking back to me. He's, you know, he's taller than me now because he's almost 6 feet, right? So he's a man now. Yeah. So I would call his dad and I'm like, yo, can you talk to him? Can you help me out? Just, you know, talk to him or whatever. And every time I would discipline my son, he would call his dad and say, oh, I'm going to my dad's for the weekend. And I'm like, so I'll call the dad. I'm like, why wouldn't you talk to me about this? Because he's banned from the PlayStation and now you're telling him to bring it for the weekend. So, right? So when my son saw that was happening, every time that I disciplined him or every time I called his dad to help me out, he would go there for the weekend. So that really showed my son, okay, now he can do whatever he wants. Like he doesn't have to listen to me. So now my son is not here permanently. He's saying most of his dad. He's 17. He's doing things that he should not be doing. Hasn't been doing good in school, you know, and I just, you know, what I said to myself is that I'm just going to leave it as is because as a 17-year-old, if you're getting to do what you want, you know, you have girls coming over, you're getting to drink, you're getting to live your life. There's no way you're going to come back and stay here where I'm telling you have chores to do and you can't leave and go out and stuff like that. You're not going to do that.
Right.
Hey, I have a suggestion. I don't know if it works, but Trish, I'm sorry if I cut you off.
No, you didn't.
But me as being a teenager before, my parents they stayed together, but it was still hell. You know what I mean? Like they shouldn't have been together. Well, that's how I look at it. My mother was happy. My dad was hell on wheels. But at the end of the day, what was my mental health? Regardless of what my mom and dad were going through, I was in the middle of it. So Trish, all I'm gonna say is both of you need to sit down with your son and see where his head is at and stop. And not saying that you're doing this and stop wondering, is it because the way the dad is raising him? Like your son has his mind of his own now, and he's been through the roller coaster of y'all's relationship. So counseling is important for kids of divorce. So children of divorce is important.
I get that. And the thing is that me and his dad, we have totally, completely different ways of parenting. And that's where the issue is as well. We can't, not totally, I would say we agree on certain things, but the way how he looks at it is, okay, well, he's a boy. He needs to be raised by his dad. He cannot be raised by me. That's his thing, right? That I'm a woman. I don't know how to raise a man. Yeah. Which there's so many fantastic, brilliant men who's been raised by single moms that out there. But my son has an underlying medical condition already, which has given him hell throughout these years because it prevented him from doing certain things like like sports and stuff. So he already has an underlying, you know, mental health issue. I'm not gonna put him through, like when we were going through court, I'm not going to put him through that again. If you're happy being there and, you know, you're living as like a 17-year-old the way you want to live or whatever, you know what? You're going to learn you're going to make your mistakes and you're going to learn from them. You're probably going to look back and see, okay, maybe that wasn't the smartest thing for me to do, but I'm not going to cause problems right now. As long as I know he's safe,
Right.
he's getting fed, he's okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's not how I would raise him and how I would, you know, want my son to grow in that environment. But you know what? He's not out on the streets.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct, Trish, because I remember I had distinct rules whether I was at my mother's house or my father's house, right? They were different set of rules, but they were very distinct. That, in fact, my house was different than your how you're raising your son, because my mother was a drill instructor. My father was an army mechanic. So there was no talking back. If Sergeant Walker said to do something, it got done. Period.
Yeah, done, right? Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is mainly communication. And a lot of times it's we aren't bad parents. We've just had bad examples.
Okay.
Because there's no parent school. We pretty much learn parenting from school, from watching TV, watching our parents, and just taking a shot at it. There is no education on parenting. It's really your opinion.
Yeah. And you know what? And I kind of have to look at it like that and say, okay, you know what? For my ex, you know, what he's doing is what he knows best, because the way he was brought up in Jamaica, it's completely different than the way I was brought up. We still have certain things that, you know, we agree on. But
so y'all was Romeo and Juliet?
I'm sorry?
So y'all was Romeo and Juliet, a Jamaican and a Trinidadian get together? What in the world?
Hey.
It's more common than you.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It is.
Okay, because what I've been seeing on the internet, Trinidadians and Jamaicans be going at it.
Really?
I think I'm just making up in my head.
Yeah, I think you are making that up in your head. No, we love each other. What are you talking about? But we love each other. I have to unplug the remote first. Oh, sorry. I think my laptop's gonna die trying to get it plugged in. No, but anyways, I was just saying it's he and this is me of years of growth. I should say it's that I realize that what he does and what he says is the best that he knows, and I just have to leave it like that. I don't want my kids have already been through so much trauma already throughout the years when me and him were together. Now that we're not together, I don't want to put them through anything else. You know?
Well, and, I think you just
go ahead, Jay. I will speak from a father that gets his kids off so often, and then my kids down in Hampton. I'm in Northern Virginia, so they're about 2.5 hours away. So being a father of a distant father, and then a father that just gets his other daughter all the time, most of the time it's out of guilt. It's out of guilt why we treat them that way, why we spoil them. At the end of the day, it's out of guilt, and it's a bad thing, but it comes from guilt. We guilt love them. We like, I'm sorry. In our mind, we just want to do the best for them. We don't want to upset them more than we already have.
Yeah. But, you know,
from a man's perspective, a mama's perspective is way different.
But when it comes to co-parenting, and I know, Jay, you say you don't have, because your parents are, your children with your wife. When it comes to co-parenting, especially when the relationship did not end properly, I've seen too many children suffer. I know from myself, my parents were divorced, and but my parents never took care of me. I've never lived with them, but I still went through phases where, I had to go to court. I had to see certain things. I even had to hear certain things about my parents, and that really traumatizes a person even in their adulthood. So I really was trying to prevent that for my children, and I don't think that people think about the children first, and that is just so important.
My dad tried.
Oh, Trish, I hope I don't misconvey my childhood to anyone, because trust me, I had stepmothers and stepfathers that, trust me, the stories, your boy's jacked up on here. But I understand what you're saying, because the kid should never be the pawn. The kid should never be abused.
No.
But because of the hate or the lack of how, like you said, how they broke up, the kid ends up being affected because of how the adults are treating each other or the kid.
100%. That's
my dad. But
let me ask you about something. So this is what I wanted for my children, and tell me if this is like wishful thinking. I said to myself, when I knew I was leaving my ex, I said to myself, no matter what, whoever comes into my life, you know, before they meet my children, I'm going to give my ex the respect to say, okay, this is the man that's going to be in my life, and this is the person who's going to be around my children. I called him up and I said, you know, I am seeing someone. I would like you to meet him before he meets the kids. He's like, I don't want to meet the person who's fucking you.
No,
like,
we don't give a shit.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well,
see, but the thing is, that's the person who's going to be around your children. And
even after I meet him and I don't like him, you're not going to leave him. So what's the point?
But it's not for you to like him. It's to give you the respect as the father of my children. So this is the man that's going to be around.
I don't like him. What are you going to decide to do?
So
you're not going to like anybody who I'm with.
Well,
exactly.
I hear what both of you are saying, and I'm trying to put myself in two places. One, when I was a kid, and two, right now, if like Sheila and I split ways, and she came to me and was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm dating so and so. I want you to meet him before I introduce him to the kids."
Or would you like to meet him? Not I want you. Would you like to meet him before he meets the kids?
But check this out. What if he's not the one? How many dudes I got to meet? And then I'm petty as fuck. I'm petty. I'll be like, I hope you make it, bro. The other two.
Here's the thing. So me as a child, seeing how my parents, so both of my parents had relationships that they didn't introduce to each other, but they introduced to me well before they knew that was going to be the one. So that was the first thing. Yeah. So me as an adult, right? If my wife, if she was my ex-wife and she came to me and said, "Hey, here's so-and-so, I want you to meet before he meets the kids," I would respect that and I would want to meet him. Not because I want to judge or tell her about her relationship, but I respect that and I can say, you know what? There might be something here that you need to look at. Or I could say, yo, he's bombed. Like, yo, go ahead and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? If both of us are in that mature level.
And the
Trish,
thing
I'm down. I'm down with meeting them. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't give a fuck. But put it this way. I'm never gonna be the one to be like, yo, I need to meet who's gonna be around my kids.
No. I'm not saying I was just giving him the respect as a father.
No, I get that.
That's all I was doing. Because, okay, and this is how I looked at it, is that
I don't mind meeting him unless he's taller than me and better looking than me. He got to see me and have peer pressure. He got to have the pressure. You sure you want him to meet me? You sure you want him to meet me?
I'm always going to upgrade. You think I'm going to leave someone on downgrade? No.
Something's going to be wrong with him because he's still in the market. You know what I mean?
So I agree with Dee that I would never ask to meet that person, but I agree with Trish also because if she came to me and said, "Hey, would you be willing to meet?" I'd be like, "Okay, yeah."
Again, it's not about you, Dee. It's about the kids. It's not about.
I know. I would be willing to meet. I would be willing to meet. I mean, my kids wouldn't know that the meeting is going on anyway.
Exactly, right?
No, and the reason why is that I wanted to show my kids, you know what? Yes, we had a tumultuous relationship, but not every relationship is going to be there. That we're growing as people. We're trying to be civilized, and I wanted them to see civilized couple. That's why I was trying to, you know, give them, because my daughter has the perception that all men are dogs and relationships are like yelling and screaming and stuff like that, and I just didn't want to have that perception.
Pretty much.
Right?
Pretty much. The majority is,
No.
The majority is dogs and screaming and yelling.
No, I do not agree with that.
Look at divorce percentages. Look at divorce percentages.
No. Yeah, divorce. Here's the thing. Divorce is either depending on when you're looking at it, it's either 51% or 49%. Like something wrong. Somebody just divorced themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's something right.
No, but the thing is that we talked about it.
I'm on my third marriage.
It's a whole people are getting together for the wrong reasons and just getting with people out of convenience. So that divorce is like
Well, again, I believe in marriage. I'm on my third one.
Well, again, that goes to a conversation we were having before.
Yeah.
That people need to spend time with yourself. Get to know you. Be a whole person before you try to connect with another person, right?
Be a whole person, like they said.
I hate the fact that people will say, yeah, be a whole person before
a
you
whole
go to
person or a whole person.
Whole, WHOLE. Whole.
You should be a whole for a little while. Just be a whole.
Yeah, definitely. I think that everyone needs to
look
live
at me. Oh, God, yeah. I thought you said a whole person. Hey.
I did not. I did not.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I know what you said, Jay. It's just that my mind doesn't go there. I know what you said.
Right.
Really,
right.
Trish? Your mind doesn't go there?
No, she said it does go there. It does go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, like, I hate the fact that people will say, oh, this is my better half, or you gotta meet us 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come with everything.
Right. Because 50-50 is kind of weird, right?
Exactly. Right.
Well,
it's 100.
In regards to co-parenting, is there anything else, like D? I mean, you seem to be
say what you want to say. You don't never bite your tongue.
Seem to be a professional in the marriage.
I am a professional of co-parenting, but I'm not that great at it's
well,
rough.
Actually, I do have a question.
Our communication is great. I have great mothers of my children. I don't like disrespecting them and call them baby mamas. I have great, because I was married to both of them. I have great mothers of my children, and we can communicate. We can change schedules without any headache. And we're a team. We're a well-working team, and it's about the kids at the end of the day. You have to leave your ego at the door. You have to leave how you felt about the relationship and just worry about how the kids see you. Your sons and your daughters want to see that you treat mom great, because trust me, your kids love mom more. They love mom more, and you do not want to treat their mother bad.
100%
treat their mother bad at all, and don't make her struggle for nothing. Do not make their mother struggle for anything, because you know what? Us black dads are going to hear it in every fucking rap song that we ain't. And I don't want my son rapping about me. He gonna rap that my pops was great. He was good.
Yeah. So y'all know that my daughter's a singer. I sent you her son, and she does music, and she did a song called Family Dynamics, and I was so happy when she didn't put me under the bus, but
because kids don't, unless you are just some horrible, and I mean horrible mother, right? Chances are kids are not going to talk about their mother. Because case in point, picture this now, a father playing with their child, tossing the ball, teaching them all they can to be athletically inclined. They grow up to play sports, and then they get drafted into their favorite sports team. And when they get on the stage after winning their first championship, what do they say? I love you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, Mom ain't even have a job. Dad was paying all that child support so he wouldn't go to prison and get raped. That's all.
Wow.
That's my only fear. That's the only reason why I pay my child support on time, because I can't take this into prison. I can't. I will not last a day. I don't know, man.
Dude, I love you, but I don't think you're prison pretty. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say it, because I think you are more. You would go to jail and people would look at you and be like, yo, I ain't gonna mess with him. He got that face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they want that face. They want that face.
No, it's that kind of face, though. No, they want that. No, you got that face. You got that mean mugging face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's the main one.
That's what he does.
Oh, you gonna come in here mean mugging? Oh, I'm gonna change that face tonight. All right. I hope people. That's my only fear. I can't go to prison, man.
Oh man, that's my fear too. Yo, I don't want to go to prison, man.
The dudes be like proud. Yo, I don't care. That's 3 hots in a cock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not the only reason why I pay my child support, but it's damn near up there with number one. It's very, very close, bro. I be seeing dudes go to prison for like, whoo.
Yeah. Neither y'all are good fathers and good husbands, so neither one of y'all are going to go to jail. I'll come bail you out. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, Thank you, sis. So I had a question earlier. So when you have the kids involved, right?
Yeah, right.
And you're starting to date,
right?
At what point do you bring the person around your kids? Because I've had this thought, like if I ever left my wife or she left me,
only when I'm sure.
Only when you're sure.
And that's what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, why? I've seen that firsthand from in my childhood of just people being brought to me before anything, right? So I would have to be sure. I would have to spend months to years with this person before they even come into my child's world.
And the thing is, my daughter.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, my daughter was a bit older too. My daughter was probably 18 or so when I started when I had my ex in my life.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary.
He was 18, so I introduced him to her.
You could be bringing R. Kelly home,
right?
Oh,
that's
no,
scary.
no.
I know that's scary.
She was safe, man. R. Kelly likes more like 13 and 14.
I know, but that's scary, man. Because I think about how beautiful my daughter is at 23, and imagine my ex-wife bringing new people around, and they see her like, because there's some nasty people.
No, there's some nasty. No, but that's the thing. Like I was very, very concerned and vigilant about that. But I had to really know this person. I met his dad and his brother. I really had to know this person, and he had 2 younger kids too. But he met her first before he met my 2 younger ones, right?
Okay.
And I had to. And because she was older, right? And I'm like, I wanted to ask her, you know, what was her opinion? What did she feel and whatever? And it wasn't until like months after he was able to meet the younger ones. But I'm not going to bring I'm not even with that person anymore. He's still in my life though. But if he comes back into my life, I'm probably going to be even more cautious now because I already brought one person into your life, right? So I don't want to.
I think that's why a lot of women, they don't move on as fast as men.
Oh yeah.
It's because although you're co-parenting, a man tends to have more freedom and more private time than the woman. And that's got to be rough because y'all go to bed every night with that pillow between your legs, just punching the ceiling.
Well, I think there's different reasons because I know there are men who want their kids, but because of the system, statistically, women tend to get the kids statistically.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there are some dirtbag men who just want to go out there and party. So
I think majority of men.
No, Jay, I don't mean it like that.
I don't think that's what D meant. I think
I was just saying that's what's out there. Like I'm not saying I was not implying that's what D meant.
Oh.
No. And I get what you're saying, but like I think about it every night. Like, oh, he was actually so he was actually in a relationship with that person 12 years prior when we were together. So he had a kid while we were together with that person. So it's not like he was able to move. He was already in a relationship while me and him was in a relationship. But when I think about it, it's that it took me years because I wanted to work on myself. I had to get over certain things. I had to make sure that I was in a proper state of mind to even be in a relationship. And that took me like 2-3 years. But it's actually for a woman, when we leave a relationship, we want to make sure that whatever relationship we get back into, it's not as bad as it was before, or we work on ourselves. I feel as though that's why we take a lot longer. Like men just can jump quickly.
Right.
Well, I think that's another reason why statistically women tend to have better second marriages because they actually take that time to work on themselves and figure out what exactly was wrong to move forward. A healthy woman.
Yes.
Let me disclaimer.
Let me do it. A healthy woman, not a Pisces or a Leo woman.
There's some crazies out there. Right? There's some crazies out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was a great conversation. And you know what? The way I'm gonna flip the hot seat is I want to be on the hot seat tonight. May I take on the hot seat?
Interesting. Okay, all right. But hold on, because before we actually get into the hot seat, we gotta play.
You have now entered the hot seat.
He only wanted to do that so that they can hear his voice saying
exactly.
Why y'all call me up, man? Y'all ain't my friends. That's rude.
You remember, Jay, back in the day, Trish, you so young. Remember back in the day, you would wake up and you would see Elvira on the TV?
Yeah.
And they would play those little snippet horror shows. It sounds like you were the speaker. Welcome to the Elvira show.
Vincent Price was my motivation. Okay. I've been listening to a lot of Thriller this morning. And that was my motivation when I came up with that. I'm sorry.
What's the hot seat question today?
But yeah, D, go ahead. What is the hot seat?
I said I want to be on the hot seat.
Well, I had to
I
switch
was
it. I had to switch it, man.
Oh. My
Why
bad.
y'all hating on me today, man?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Which one of y'all got a question for me?
So, Trish, do you have a question? Because I always got a question.
Please don't let Trish ask me. No. She'll go.
Even better. Maybe Trish should ask the question.
Go right ahead, Jay.
So for real, I'm trying to wait for my file to come up.
Okay.
So I said I already got a question.
No problem.
Because I wasn't checking the chat. So yeah. So D.
What's up, bro?
All right. So
D.
would you date or continue to date someone that cheated on you? And why? Why or why not?
Is he married to her? Is he married to the person or not? Or is just dating?
I don't care. I don't care what level we are. You cheat on me, I'm out. I'm out. Because I don't think my ego can. My ego won't let me live through that. I'm a Libra.
Yeah.
I'm a Libra, and my ego.
Oh, you have to bring the zodiac into it.
Yeah, I'm a Libra, and I already have insomniac for things I've done in the past and things I think may be going on. So if I know it's happening,
right,
I don't think I'm gonna be able to live with it. I ain't gonna be able to live with it. So I'm not gonna become a toxic husband or boyfriend and start checking on them. And you need to change. Oh, you look like you doing it again.
Yeah,
we gotta go, man. We gotta go our separate ways. Yeah, a man's ego is much. We can't take it, man. We can't take that as somebody else, made our wife. First of all, they made her laugh first, because you got to make a woman laugh to get the booty. So they made her laugh first. Then they took her time, because she's not just going to sleep with him like that.
Right.
I'm saying a woman I'm with. Yeah, I'm going to say a woman I'm with is not going to sleep with somebody like that. It built up to that. I was laying next to her. I was watching Netflix next to her, and she was texting somebody else. It was built up. Once it got to that point. Right. So I was like, yeah, it's a wrap. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm out.
Okay. All right, Trish.
That's what I think now.
Trish, you got any thoughts? Would you?
That's been my life.
Men are dogs.
I won't say, but what I have learned is that, I mean, with my first relationship, there was 2 kids outside of our relationship, and I stayed, but I stayed for all the wrong reasons, right?
Yeah, right. For the kids, probably.
And when I look back, I realized that the emotional toll that it took on me, the self-worth and all that, it just wasn't worth it. And then in my second relationship, when I found out that, the boyfriend that I was with is actually married, I was able to deal with that relationship differently than I dealt with my first relationship. So, and the reason why the thing is that people cheat for reasons, people do things for reasons. And when I look at my first relationship versus my second one is that my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, he was in, and a lot of men don't admit to this, but he was in an abusive relationship with his wife. She cheated on him multiple times. I think she was pregnant for someone. So he went through a lot. That's why I'm still friends with him, or we're still talking. But I think as a woman, we handle that so much differently than a man does. Because for us to go out and cheat, like, I've never cheated on anyone that I've been with, because for me, I have to be emotionally connected to you in order to reach that point. Like, I have had in the past with my first, where I've started to talk to people, but it never got sexual to a sexual part, because it would have taken me investing a lot of time, which I didn't have because I had 3 young kids at the time.
So Trish, as a man that is always in the huddle with other men, or in the locker room with other men, or just always congregating with other men, there is no reason to cheat. We just like to fucking cheat.
No, I don't think there is no reason to cheat. I don't think so. But
we don't cheat for a reason. We just cheat.
I don't know. I don't know if I understand. I think I understand.
She didn't cook for me last night, or she didn't do this.
No, I'm not talking about that's petty. That's petty. But I think when I look at what my ex went through mentally, and the breakdown, and it's not just hearing it from him. I mean, I understood certain aspects because I had mommy and daddy issues too. everyone has issues, and I looked at it that way. Even with my kid's father, he has some serious deep-rooted issues that he hasn't taken care of, and that's why I am a little bit mellow. Like, I don't talk ill about him. I don't,
That's why I started this conversation off with I huddle with men. When I
Mm-hmm.
say men, I ain't talking about Jay. I ain't talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the conversations is these dudes just cheat. It don't matter how great home is.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes just cheat. And that's who I'm speaking about, Trish.
Mm-hmm.
You're speaking from what you think the man might be going through. I'm telling you what men talk about.
But that comes back to what I said to you. Like, I think that there's two different types of people. There's men who cheat and who shouldn't be in marriages, and then there's men, because they just think that an ideal relationship is to get married and have kids, but they shouldn't be married. And then there's the ones who can commit and be married.
So I really think
one I'm at so far as Jay.
So I really think that any man or woman who cheats, there is something wrong on the inside. Right? There's something that they haven't fixed inside. So it isn't the other person's fault, regardless of what they say or the reason is. There's something not there on the inside.
What if they're just addicted to sex?
And that's something that I learned from my first ed. Because a man cheats, it's not my fault. It's
not your fault. It's never the woman's fault.
I blame myself, and my second relationship, I didn't blame myself because I know that I was doing my best.
Right. So now, if a person is addicted to sex, again, there is something that they have to figure out on the inside through counseling. So there's still something
that's
not
what I'm
quite
saying.
right.
There's underlying issues. There's so many men out there that have so much issues, and we talked about this mental health and
mental health,
and so much deep-rooted issues from how they were brought up because their parents and all the cultural issues and stuff like that. There's just so many issues that we men have to deal with that are not dealt with when they get into relationships.
Agreed.
Right.
So
I agree with everything y'all said. I was just giving the perspective of.
No, I get what you're saying.
I hang with a pack of dogs. I don't care where I've been in the world, especially in the military.
No, I get what you're saying.
They don't.
Oh, that's the whole thing. Almost everybody's broken in the military. There's nobody holding in the military.
It's the reason why we're in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
It ain't patriotism. It's not patriotism.
95% of the people in the military are running from something or trying to change their environment. That's
or they don't like school.
That's fact.
Yeah.
That was me. I didn't like school, so I had to figure out another way to make money.
Yeah.
Oh, at the time, I just didn't have confidence to go do what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I got to do something. So here we go.
Yeah. Oh man, that's 52.
But all right, so
I love chatting with y'all.
So, always. It's always a good conversation. We always have fun. And before anyone leaves out, let me go ahead and do my Mr. Positivity thing. So, everyone, we've talked a lot about police brutality, how we're feeling, co-parenting, all that lovely stuff. And at the end of the day, I like to think it's simply a conversation. You have to talk to yourself, you have to talk to your loved ones, and you have to talk to the world outside. You have to get these things off your chest, because if you don't, they're going to fester and they're going to create negative and unhealthy behaviors that are going to affect you, the people you love, and everybody that comes in contact with you. So keep the conversation going, whether you're talking about justice, equality, mental health, or even just loving yourself. Keep the conversation going. This has been Bite the Bullet. My boy Dfactor, my sis Trish, Jay Reace here, and we will catch you all later.